Wood and Blues Time in the City. You can pick us up at www.kuaw.org or go to the Wood and Blues Time in the City. You can pick us up at www.kuaw.org or go to the TuneIn app and search KUAW. Listen to us. We're on 24 hours a day. That's KUAW Radio, Kansas City's global community radio station. And this is what you hear every day from noon. Wood and Blues Time in the City. You can pick us up at www.kuaw.org or go to the Wood and Blues Time in the City. You can pick us up at www.kuaw.org or go to the TuneIn app and search KUAW. Listen to us. We're on 24 hours a day. That's KUAW Radio, Kansas City's global community radio station. And this is what you hear every day from noon till 2. Don't miss the Cheryl Underwood Show.
It's the jump. Welcome to the Cheryl Underwood Show.
That's what I'm talking about. Courtney Black. Where are we going, Kyle Irving?
George R. Smith College in Sedalia, Missouri. It was open from 18.
It's Courtney Black with the facts on Cheryl Underwood Radio, and you are in the entertainment segment with Courtney and Kyle. It's time for a social media shout out. Today I'm shouting out from Instagram my girl Donna Webster. What's up, Donna? We appreciate you, girl. If you want me to shout you out, follow us on Instagram at Cheryl Underwood Radio.
You are listening to KUAW Radio, home of the all-new Jamal Bakes Show, and I'm Jamal Bakes, and thank you so very much for listening to the station bringing you talk, news, entertainment that you won't get anywhere else.
I get it over with, and I've been hearing like a lot of people. If you like to watch me live on Facebook or YouTube, hop over to our Facebook page, KUAW Radio. YouTube is KUAW Radio as well. Make sure to like and subscribe to those social media pages. Invite your family and friends so that they'll be able to enjoy the content that we have here at KUAW. We are available across all social media outlets, so Twitter, Instagram, Periscope, TuneIn, KUAW. Yes, we are having a winter fundraiser going on this given Tuesday of 2020. So we're asking our businesses to donate a product or a service or a item or something that displays your business brand, so that we can get it out to the community to hopefully prompt sales for your business. Yeah, because we are KC's community radio station, so we want to make sure that we are involving the community in things that we do. So yeah, the Chiefs didn't play this week. We had a bye week, you know what I'm saying, just to get us a couple of some rest. So we will be coming up this week here in Las Vegas. Yeah, I got on the Vegas odds things today just to see if we were favored to win, because you know the Raiders is the only team that has beat us, but we are favored to win by 6.5 points. So which not really good for Vegas odds. I was really hoping that they was wanting the Raiders to win so I could bet on the Chiefs, you know, and come up. But nah, we are expected to win this game. So hopefully, you know, all goes well with that. On Sunday night, we have a premiere game this week. So Sunday Night Football. Y'all join us. Yeah, so I mean, I'm sorry. It was my birthday this past weekend, so I just been doing a lot of celebrating of life, celebration of life, you know. But I see that the coronavirus is taking back over, you know, the United States, and I knew it was gonna get to the point where we were gonna experience another shutdown, just because I know Texas has suppressed 1 million cases high, noble ill. So I knew that, you know, it was coming because, like I said, Texas surpassed 1 million coronavirus cases, and is rapidly rising all across the United States, and going back into, you know, shutdowns and things like that. And it sparks, you know, the schools, and it's crazy because we were just talking about the governor last week and how he was being lenient with the guidelines as far as the schools were going. Now here we are, they just opened up the schools of a little bit more than what they were doing. Now here they are about to go back to a full shutdown. So it's like the children literally just went to school enough to catch corona and then come back home and be locked down again. Like, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? My heart goes out to all the parents with children in school and everything, and you trying to work, and then they closing the schools back down, so now you're becoming a teacher. I feel like, you know, shoot, it should be some type of pay going on, you know what I'm saying? But nah, I mean, hey, you know, I ain't really with the public schools. I feel like we should be teaching our own children anyway, if you have the ability to do that. A lot of people don't, so, you know, it is what it is. So yeah, the going back to everything closing down at 10, and that's another thing. Y'all gotta comment, let me know, you know, y'all thoughts and everything on it or whatever, because I really don't get the time thing. Like, if the restaurants are gonna be open, what's the difference? I mean, why do they have to close at 10? Like, coronavirus don't just come out at night. Like, you know, what is the thing with the time frame? With the time limit on things closing is not really. 4 states are being test subjects for the vaccine, Tennessee being one of them, in which I reside in. That was another thing that I was just about to get into, as far as the vaccine, because, you know, we was talking about, you know, with things being closed down and things, because when we think about this coronavirus, right? And y'all make sure to comment and let me know, you know what I'm saying, y'all thoughts and everything on it, because I was watching the new Kevin Hart special came out today, and he was like kind of asking his audience, you know, like their anxiety regarding coronavirus. Like, are you high? Are you low? Are you in the middle? Like, how are you really feeling? You know, there's a lot of different people that have a lot of different thoughts on how to handle the coronavirus, on how serious the coronavirus is, how easy the coronavirus is to catch. Like, so many different factors go into this virus, right? And the way that it's presented to us, I feel like it's presented to us as if it is inedible, that everyone is going to get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, the way that they should test the U.S. Senate first, because they will not use me and my daughters as test subjects. And like I said, I'm gonna get into the testing of it and everything. But so it's like, if it's inedible, because I was talking to one of my friends at work today, and she was just saying how her when her friends was like I'd rather just get it already, you know what I'm saying, like, get it over with. And I've been hearing like a lot of people say that, because at the end of the day, the way that it's being presented to us, everyone is eventually going to get it. It's not going to go away. It's not just going to disappear in thin air. And so unless they do these mandatory vaccinations, then how are you going to determine when it's safe to reopen the country? It's like, is this the regulations that we're under, the guidelines that we're under, is this like the rest? Is this just how life is gonna be? Because you know what I'm saying. Like, how is it just gonna go away? And y'all comment and let me know, you know what I'm saying, how you're thinking or what you're feeling. Like, how is it just gonna go away? We've been wearing masks. We've been social distancing. A lot of people have, a lot of people haven't. You know what I'm saying? Again, it's a lot of different thoughts on how serious or how easy it is to actually contract this virus. And so I just wonder, you know, because like I said, if it's inedible that we're just gonna get it, then how like, I just don't see in the future, like, okay, so we got these guidelines, this shutdown and stuff, back until the end of January. So then the end of January, we reevaluate what's going on. And once we do that, then it's like, where do we go from there? Because and I'm kind of leaning towards, okay, because so there was a rumor, you know, I don't know how true it is or whatever, so that's why I'm stating it like this, that, you know, Biden and them campaign and everything like that, they just wanted to do a countrywide shutdown for 4 to 6 weeks, which in my mind, that will probably be the best solution at this time, because I mean, because if that's the only way that you are, if quarantining, you know, there's no cure for it, there's no vaccination for it right now. When you go to the hospital, there's really no treatment for it. They just telling you to quarantine. So it's like, if we just quarantine everyone at once, shouldn't it just die? Like, in my mind, that's how I'm thinking, like logical, like just trying to think logical about it. I feel like, you know, so I'm actually with Biden and them on the decision if they do choose to do a countrywide shutdown. But it needs to be a real shutdown. Like, you can't have, you sit up here and talk about these essential businesses and people that still got to go to work. Well, I work at an essential company, and there's been about 3-4 employees that had coronavirus. You know what I'm saying? We're all using the same interests. We're all using the same restrooms, like, you know, all these type of things or whatever. So how do you stop the spread of it? How do you stop the spread of it in these essential businesses that have to go home to their families and everything like that? So it has to be a real lockdown. I don't know what that would really look like for the United States economy. You know, I don't really see how that would like just impact the economy, you know, at all. Just everything being shut down at once, like they're actually being nothing. And then the thing about it is, you start thinking about food, you start thinking about grocery stores, you know, everything like that. And so it's like, how do we if we still have these certain things open, people still have to be there at work, you know. So it's like, how do we really, what are we really thinking the answer to the coronavirus is? You know, like at
Wood and Blues Time in the City. You can pick us up at www.kuaw.org or go to the Wood and Blues Time in the City. You can pick us up at www.kuaw.org or go to the TuneIn app and search KUAW. Listen to us. We're on 24 hours a day. That's KUAW Radio, Kansas City's global community radio station. And this is what you hear every day from noon till 2. Don't miss the Cheryl Underwood Show.
It's a jump off. Welcome to the Cheryl Underwood Show.
That's what I'm talking about. Courtney Black. Where we going, Kyle Irving?
George R. Smith College in Sedalia, Missouri was open from 18.
It's Courtney Black with the facts on Cheryl Underwood Radio, and you are in the entertainment segment with Courtney and Kyle. It's time for a social media shout out. Today I'm shouting out from Instagram my girl Donna Webster. What's up, Donna? We appreciate you.
To the TuneIn app and search KUAW. Listen to us. We're on 24 hours a day. That's KUAW Radio, Kansas City's global community radio station. And this is what you hear every day from noon till 2. Don't miss the Cheryl.
Tickets was high. I don't know if y'all looked at those tickets or not, but whoo, those tickets was high. I thought about it, I'm gonna be right at home. My old Super Bowl, our old little what is it, divisional game, I guess. Something like that, championship. Yeah, something. It's something. But yeah, so that's exciting. I'm yeah, let's go Chiefs, right? And I'm ready. I'm excited about it. But and then, of course, we all seen what took place at the Capitol building last week after the announcement of I guess it was the Georgia election that everybody was waiting on, some final things going on in the Georgia election, and the storming of the Capitol building. Okay, so the thing about the storming of the Capitol building, right? It's so much, right? It's so much. I mean, just because you think about all the protests that we do, you know, we out here protesting our lives. We're out here protesting, you know, for justice, for not to be oppressed in the banking system and the financial system, not to be shot down in the streets by people that are supposed to protect and storm us, or protect and serve us, you know. And so it's not comparable. And it's absurd, right? And then, but it's like they call in National Guard, put up barricades, have all kind of cops in riot gear, everything in anticipation of a riot from us, right? Or anticipation, not even a riot, a protest, because we all know the rioting comes from their own people. They send their own people in there to break into stores and all that other kind of stuff or whatever. Then they catch us in the pictures coming out the stores and everything like that, but it be their own people that they send down to entice these type of activities during our protests, where it turns into what they call a riot. But for these people to walk in the building, and then I don't even know if y'all seen, like a couple of days ago, they came out and was saying that it was some officers that were suspended, and the fact that having basically something to do with it, because that's the thing. It's like they were able to get into this building, no security. Basically, security was weak. It's like they walked right on in, right? And we have to look at this like, why is it, what I'm saying, would they will allow some things like this or whatever. And I repost this video on my Instagram, so y'all make sure y'all go follow my Instagram. But I repost this video on the Instagram, and they was just saying, like, we gotta sit this one out. This don't have nothing to do with us. You know what I'm saying? We ain't coming in to clean up the mess or anything like that. Like, this don't it's heartbreaking and only suspended. Yeah, they did only get suspended for now, because I'm pretty sure that's just the first step. And the first step, and they have to go into a further investigation, which hopefully that would be something that happens. They go into further investigation surrounding the thing. Oh, and then being put on the no-fly list. Oh, these people is acting up at these airports. If y'all ain't been able to catch those videos, y'all gotta go to the hashtag no fly list on Twitter, okay? Because these videos will have you cracking up. Okay, I'm talking about these people is mad. Like, but what do you expect? We expect full charges to be brought against these people, that were involved in this thing and everything like that. Because let it would have been, on the other hand, let it would have been us. It would have been a bloody massacre. And it would have all been in the name of justice. Let them tell it. Like, it would have been a bloody massacre if it would have been the other way around, But definitely the no fly list dead. Them bugs is funny, okay? This one man was like screaming out in the airport talking about you're treating me like a black person. Like, what? What did you just say? Like, the audacity. It's a shift going on, y'all. It's a shift, and we got to be prepared. We got to be prepared mentally for it and everything like that, because I always said that we are we're in a spiritual war. It seems like it's a physical one, because they want it to be a physical one so bad. They want it to be a physical one. They want to turn into another civil war and all that kind of stuff, a race war, whatever you want to call it. They love. Here's the thing: Europeans love war. Okay, like, that's history. Their whole history is built off of war. Everything, they love war. So, of course, but it's a spiritual war that we fight in. It's a spiritual war that we got to be prepared for physically as well. So don't give away your guns. That's that new presidency. We'll see what's going to happen, y'all. But anyway, I ain't saying give up your guns or nothing like that, but also being prepared mentally and spiritually for what's going on, for this shift that was going on. We talked about a couple of weeks ago, people were talking about the age switching into the age of Aquarius, and the power of the alignments of the planets and everything like that. The age of Aquarius is really about awakening, but our people are coming into that, and we got to be prepared for that, because that's what it's going to take to get us through these next couple of years, these next future generations, to be able to actually establish some things, some actual roots that will have that our great grandchildren can bear fruit from, So, but we have to be prepared. But before I get into all that, because we're going to talk about that a little today too. But I want to talk about this ban on Trump as well. Okay, so let me and I'm a pull this down, because I made a status about this, y'all, and it was crazy because I didn't even respond to nobody back on the status. I just made the status or whatever, shared the picture, because I just wanted to see what people was gonna say and how people were gonna view it and everything like that. So they didn't block. We done had 4 years of Trump. Is this his first term or second? Oh, okay. Yeah, first, okay, I don't know what I'm thinking. I don't know. Hey, 2020 felt like 10 years in itself, so y'all know, excuse me. But, okay, so the 4 years that we've been dealing with him, he's been Twitter fingers since the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's always very outspoken. You know, they didn't already took some, banned some tweets and stuff from him and everything like that. But now he is banned on Facebook, Twitter, Google, Spotify, Snapchat, Instagram, Pinterest, TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, Reddit. I don't even know what Reddit is. Reddit and Shopify. And I don't even know what he gonna do on Shopify that they gotta ban the man on Shopify. Like, what the heck? But now here's the thing. I don't really like to dwell in like the conspiracy theory type things, okay? However, when you look at all the things this man has been saying over the past time, even with COVID, like they were so mad. He was telling people to drink bleach. You know what I'm saying? Like all the stuff that he was saying or whatever, they never took it to this extreme. Never. Okay, so now he didn't lost the presidency. We know this, okay? He knows this, okay? So, and now he's blocked again about everything. I said, I honestly feel like he's trying to say something that they don't want him to say, and they just trying to find all ways to mute him. So then I made that status, right? And I was like, well, what is it that he's going to say? Well, he just held one of the most powerful positions in the world, not in just the United States. To be the president of the United States of America is a high position in the world, okay? So he probably knows all kind of not probably, he does. He knows all kind of information, inside trades, and all these other kind of things of what's going on in the United States. His son, I don't know if it was him or his son that was tweeting about Biden trying to sell us to China. You know what I'm saying? He said that he was trying to sell the United States to China, right? And we already know they trying to buy up Africa. So let's not act like, you know, they can't come across that water, right? So it's like, what is it really that, you know, they're trying to keep him from saying, for sharing? Because I tell y'all, they say the Simpsons ain't been wrong yet. In a minute, they gonna kill that man. Like, he is gonna get, and I hate to put this out in the atmosphere because y'all know I believe thoughts are things, and we, you know what I'm saying, we speak these type of things or whatever, but just look at the pattern of the, I don't know what to call them. I want to say the powers that be, but it's not really the powers that be. They only have powers because we give them power. You know what I'm saying? Like, we give them power over us. So that's the only reason that they have power, right? But anyway, for the lack of better wording, the powers that be. And I mean, look what they did to JFK, right? Malcolm, Martin, like, come on now, like, it's a pattern. When people start, not that I'm putting Trump, let's be clear, I am not putting Trump in the same category as Martin Luther King or Malcolm X or even JFK. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just saying that, but I'm saying when there's a pattern of when the quote unquote powers that be wants to silence someone, there's a pattern that goes through. That we can clearly see that happens. You know what I'm saying? So I just tell our people to think, because that's one thing about it. It's like, we cannot be so like, oh, that's absurd. Why would they do that? This, and that. You know what I'm saying? Just to think that it's not a possibility. I always, speak on open-mindedness. Like, having an open mind will help you with so many truths of life that you wouldn't even really consider. That would even be, a part of this plane of manifest, I guess. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out the right word into, what I'm trying to say or whatever. So don't think that it's so absurd that it's not questionable, because everything is questionable. That's like, they say that's one thing that we do with our children. It's like, we teach them not to question anything. Don't question adults. Don't question their parents and all this other kind of thing. So we grow up into this society that doesn't question anything, right? Or we feel like questioning someone who may be an elder or in a position of quote unquote power or whatever, then it's disrespectful to question them. No. question everything. I feel like everything should be questioned. Everything in your life, everything that comes afford you, I feel like you should question it. If you don't know who to ask the question to, ask the question to yourself. Meditate on it, sleep on it. I don't know, but I just feel like everything should be questioned, because we have been filled with so many lies, and I don't even know how else even to describe it, but we have been filled with so many lies through news, through news programs, through music, through education, like public education, you know what I'm saying, even secondary education. Like, a lot of these things we have been taught, religion, even in religion, it's like when you have been raised a certain way, those things follow you into adulthood. We can all agree on that. And so when you when I kind of lost my train of thought. I mean, so many thoughts be going through my mind, y'all gotta excuse me. It's like I think faster than I talk. Okay. But no, we've been fed so many lies that when we hear the truth, it is astonishing. It's so absurd to us outside of our belief system that it's more of a lie. We treat it more like a lie than anything. We don't question it. We don't research it. We don't just to see. I'm the type of person, if someone tells me something, I'm never going to tell them that they're wrong or tell them that they're right, especially if I don't know. If it's not something that I have studied my own, I'm definitely not going to make that discernment whether they're right or wrong or whatever. But what I will do is take whatever information that they give me, and I might go look, not might, but I'm gonna go look it up for myself. I'm gonna go dive into the resources to see whether I can come into a factual agreement of truth. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that those are the type of things that we should do with everything. And I was trying to see how much time I got, but I'm gonna just go into it. I know I'm gonna have to take a break, but I know that I talk a lot on our thoughts, our thoughts being things, right? And I kind of want to speak on, I made this post earlier this week about happiness being an inside job, right? And I know that every day we all wake up with a choice. Every decision, every second of the day, you have the ability to make a choice. And everything that you do, and every feeling that you feel, emotion that comes across you, whether you view it as a choice or not, it's a choice, right? You choose the way that you react to things. And so when we talk about like happiness and joy, these are the type of things they tell you money can't buy, even though people with money swear up and down it gets you closer. But it's not really the money that gives you the happiness. It's the freedom to do whatever you want to do. You know what I'm saying? You can sleep as long as you want to sleep. You can get up and drive wherever you want to drive whatever car you want to drive, put on whatever you want to put on. Like, if you have enough money that allows you to do those things, but it's not the actual money that's giving you the happiness. It's the freedom, the feeling of freedom that you have over your life that brings the happiness. And we can choose to have those type of things with or without money. We've been conditioned to think that you need money to be able to do the type of things. That's where gratitude comes in, because you have to be grateful for where you are today. You know what I'm saying? If you really want to get to where you want to be in the future or tomorrow, you got to be grateful and show gratitude over where you are today. Because y'all know I be on this Clubhouse thing, right? And a lot of people they talk about, or we were talking about how I'm trying to think of what I was just trying to, I don't know, but I was saying, but being grateful where you are today or whatever, and what it is that you have today. We were talking about this, like manifesting and everything, like what it is that you want. When we think about the law of attraction, y'all know I talk about these universal laws all the time. If you ain't looked up the universal laws listening to my show by now, I don't know what to tell you. You should really. But it all, because they all work hand in hand, right? They all go together. They all work together. I'm trying to think, but yeah, I was trying to think of a different word because I feel like I use that word too much, but I don't know. I can't think of it right now. It's important to understand it, because when you don't understand them, then they are working against you, really. When you really don't understand how the law of attraction works, when you really don't understand how the frequency or energy level that you dwell on, that you put out, is also the frequency level that you attract on. When you don't understand those type of things or whatever, those things are because they're working whether you are aware of them or not. That's why I always push the I don't want to really call it knowledge, but that's how I always push, that thoughts are things, and for us to really try to get control over our thoughts, because people are banking on us not to have that knowledge. When we look at everything that's going on in the United States or whatever, and it seems like things are getting worse and worse and worse, but we use all these things as a distraction, whether you can find a way that it helps society, and it does, because it's always going to be something that is helpful and harmful, duality, but at the same time, when these things are filled with a lot of noise, unnecessary noise too, because like news programs, radio program, or music, not necessarily radio, but music, some music that we listen to or whatever, TV programs that we consume ourselves with, social media, that we consume ourselves with. All these things keep our minds moving and our minds busy, to the point where we don't actually have time to sit and really be aware of what we're thinking at the time that we're thinking in a sense, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So and then you don't have time to really know the power of what it is that you're thinking, or being able to calm your mind to where you receive downloads. I say from the universe, you can say from God, Allah, however you want to say it, you know what I'm saying? But that consciousness, that inner guidance, of a higher power, that connection that we all have as humans. I know on the last show, me and Nelson Neal was going back and forth about, the difference between animals and humans. But just like as humans, that ability that we have, that connection that we have with a higher power. If you don't know, if your mind is never still enough to know that part of yourself, then someone is controlling it, because it's either you're controlling it or someone else is controlling it, because it's still working regardless. Like, it's still creating regardless. It's still the cause of what it is that you see in your reality regardless. And when we have a bunch of mass control, not like the mask you wear on your face, but mass control media platforms, the way that we do, the people that are in control of that actually are controlling the people that's like you playing a video game. You know what I'm saying? The person with the controller is the one controlling the video game. If you're controlling all these type of outlets and things that we have, then you kind of have a sense of control over the people that engage in these type of activities. So what is it? I'm sorry, y'all. I was trying to see okay, this I was trying to get back to. I'm sorry, y'all. But yeah, so when you let these type of things control what it is that's and it's kind of like I said, what goes in is a direct reflection of what comes out, of what is perceived on the outside of it. When we think about the youth and how the youth are today, is and you got to think why. You know what I'm saying? You got to try to figure out the why in it. And it all comes back to self. That's why when they say, know thyself, that's a lot of people coin it to the Egyptians, over, eat or wherever, different empires and things like that are different, religion systems or belief systems or things like that, but I know is know thyself. And when you think about know thyself, like, what does that really mean? What does it really mean to know thyself? And what is that, on what are we speaking of? Because people take that in so many different ways and conceive that, because we all perceive things to our own level of understanding, right? So if your understanding is limited in one specific religion or one specific social group, Like, and I say that like we talk about like the Proud Boys and white supremacy and all this other kind of stuff or whatever, because these people really believe that how they feel and the things that they doing is actually right. You know what I'm saying? Like they have no conception about others, in a sense. And that's why, and when we look at these different religions and different groups and everything like that, those are the type of things that we should be looking at. Those are the type of things that we should be looking for. If you can look at your religion or belief system, whatever it is, and it tells you to have hatred towards any other certain group of humans on this earth, you need to reconsider that religion or reconsider that faith, because that's not gonna be a savior of the world. You know what I'm saying? Like what we in now, and that's kind of gonna take me into my second half or whatever, because I wanted to talk about the concept of heaven or hell. So, and what it is that we see today, because you will ask people, you will ask someone, and while y'all on here and when we go on this break, y'all tell me in the comments, you know what I'm saying, what do you think about heaven and hell? Do you think it's real? Do you think it's real? Do you think it's a concept? Do you think it's a physical place? Like, what do you really think? What do you really think is the and I'm not necessarily saying, and there's so many things that go into it when we talk about, there are so many truths that we hit when we of life that we think we have a misconception of when you think about like heaven or hell, because you got heaven, the concept of heaven and hell itself, you got the concept of reincarnation, you got the transition of death, all these things that we have been conditioned to really fear, and so, but we have to ask ourselves why. Why have we been conditioned to fear these type of things or whatever? How does that affect our daily lives? How does it affect what we are going through on a plane of manifest right now today? How does it affect our present day sense? Because we look at different, I'm going to get into that when we come back on our break, but yeah, definitely think about that. And y'all let me know in the comments, what do you think? Do you think that, and why is it important? And tell me, what do you think about it in particular? Like, like how I just went explain, and then tell me why is it important to know, or why is this an important concept to understand? So yeah, because what we living in today, you ask some people about like hell, and they'll tell you that we living in hell. You know what I'm saying? Like they feel like everything that's going on in the world today, you got so much murder and theft and bloodshed and war, and I mean just hatred all over, just pure hatred. You know what I'm saying? All over. So you have so much of that in the world today that some people will look at what's going on today in the world as hell, as living in hell, especially for a person of melanated complexion or hue. The things that we are subjected to on a daily basis, and just to even prosper in life, the obstacles that we come across to be able to move forward and create wealth for ourselves and our children and our families. Some people would say that it's hell. We go through hell to really do these type of things or whatever, but then we gotta look at why and how these things come about. And so that's where we get into, our thoughts being things, because it's an individual concept that affects the whole. Again, with that wholeness, that oneness, it goes back to universal laws. Actually, the first universal laws of everything being connected, all of us being connected, as one. It's one. And that's also the thing, is being oneness with the Most High as well, however you look at it, whatever name you might subscribe to, but it's being one with that source as well. A lot of people don't view it like that, but it is. So it's like we have our individual choices that we make on a daily basis, but every choice that we make individually affects us as a whole, as humanity, as one. And once you get a lot of collective thoughts that's feeding off the full energy, then that's going to be what your reality is perceived as. That's how you're going to perceive reality. That's what reality is just going to be, because of all the collective energy that's going into that that's going into that source, or going into that ideal, or going into that not necessarily concept, but just going into that energy field, that energy level, that on that frequency level, so it's definitely important. And I'm going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back on the second half, and we're going to get a little bit more into it. But drop your comments in it while we take this quick little break, and I'll be right back.
All right, you're listening to KUAW Radio, Kansas City's global community radio station. We don't only bring you videos on Facebook and YouTube, but listen to our audio only, where you'll get shows like Cheryl Underwood and Blues Time in the City. You can pick us up at www.kuaw.org or go to the TuneIn app and search KUAW. Listen to us. We're on 24 hours a day. That's KUAW Radio, Kansas City's global community radio station. And this is what you hear every day from noon till 2. Don't miss the Cheryl Underwood Show.
Courtney Black. Where you at, baby?
Sure, I'm at my first alma mater, Clark Atlanta University in Atlanta, Georgia. CAU was the first HBCU in the southern United States. Shout out to our affiliate ATL Talks in Atlanta, Georgia, and everyone getting out there to vote for those 2 Senate seats. We love you.
That's what I'm talking.
You are listening to KUAW Radio, home of the all-new Jamal Bake Show, and I'm Jamal Bakes, and thank you so very much for listening to the station bringing you talk, news, entertainment that you won't get anywhere else. KUAW, in, of, and about our community.
This is the last weekend before Christmas, and on Blues Time in the City, we're wrapping up our All Christmas Blues and Southern Soul program.
Gene Bailey.
We have a very special guest that you will definitely enjoy, and we'll hear from some of the artists that sing the Christmas blues. Join me, Gene Bailey, for Blues Time in the City this weekend before Christmas, right here.
This is comedian Janelle Banks, and you are listening to KUAW, Kansas City.
KUAW listeners, this is Carl Boyd for Wave Your Grades, coming to you every Saturday from 1 until 2 p.m. right here on KUAW. This program features American students striving for excellence in honor of our troops and American veterans, encouraging American students. Please join us every Saturday from 1 until 2 p.m. right here on KUAW.
Now on the air in Kansas City, the Cheryl Underwood Show.
We are proud to be part of the KUAW family.
The Cheryl Underwood Show. Weekdays Monday through Friday at 12 noon. KUAW around the world on KUAW.org.
I'm sorry, my bad. My bad. Show who they really are. But okay, yes. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry, behind the scenes stuff, okay? Okay, but thank you for bearing with me again. If you have an event or a business that you'll like sponsor here on KUAW, make sure to email us at KUAW9885@gmail.com. We do check our emails, so make sure to email us and let us know what you got going on out here in the community, because we are here for you. You support us, let us support you. Okay, so we so I want to talk about, let's talk about these thoughts being things, right, and creating a reality that we in, and then how that kind of relates to what we see going on in the world today. Okay, so that was just like a brief recap of how we was gonna go into this second half or whatever, right? So, and how we end up creating our own heaven or hell. So this is really what I want to talk about, because, you know, I say that, you know, we bring out the truths about some of these concepts that we've been taught about in life. So heaven and hell hell, especially when we talk about hell was a concept that was created at the Nicene Council, I believe, is when it entered the New Testament. And the thing about it is, it was really translation, but we'll get into that, because it really didn't translate into what it has become today. But it's fear, right? So it's like they tell you that you got to live a certain life, or you got to do certain things, or you're going to go to this place called hell. And it's not just in the Bible as well, because it's also in the Quran, the Holy Quran of Mecca, the big Quran, like with Sunni Muslims and stuff. And it's also in there, and they talk about how it's different tiers. I know in the Quran, because I don't know the Bible, I really don't believe that hell is mentioned in the Bible, and that's one thing that people always like to challenge or whatever. And then you can just really tell them, it's like, where can you find it at? What book, what verse, like what chapter is it actually mentioned in the Bible? But anyway, the Quran definitely mentions hell, and it tells about it seven different levels of hell, and how you gonna be burning and it can be internal fire burning forever. You like never die, you just grow new skin to be burnt again, or pulling boiling hot water on you, or you try to run, you yank back by iron little yank tools and whips and things like that. Like, it's crazy. Hey, the way the Quran describes hell, you be like, nah, I ain't trying to go there. Not just saying, but it's really crazy. Y'all had to look it up. It's in like Surah 436, I believe. So yeah, so it's crazy, right? But it's like, why this concept? So this concept of, if you don't live your life a certain way, if you don't do all these certain things or whatever, then you're gonna go to hell, right? And then the very opposite is heaven. And it's crazy because heaven is described as a material place. When you talk about like pearly gates and gold roads and all kind of stuff like that, kind of sound like the Wizard of Oz. But anyway, that's disrespectful. I'm sorry, but all these material things or whatever, right? And so it kind of puts you into equating materialistic things and treasures and luxuries as like heaven on earth as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, people with all these big old houses and luxury cars and all this other kind of stuff or whatever, you will look at those type of things as being in heaven, which people that have a lot of people that hope that has those type of things or whatever, they be the most depressed people ever, unhappy like people ever. Like, that's like the saying, more money, more problems, right? So they, it's crazy. But really, these things are this, and see what it happens is these things are inside of us. That's why it kind of goes back to know thyself. And when it says know thyself, you understand as a human, you know what I'm saying? And so these things are inside of us. We all have that consciousness in us, so where we're doing something, whether it's right or wrong, right? When I opened it up, I said that we all make choices every second of the day. We're making a choice, right? To be able to do something or whatever it is that you think that you might gonna do, decision that you're gonna make. It's a choice that you make, that you have the ability to make. It's not something that's automatic, right? Like animals. But anyway, so it's a choice that we make, right? And depending on which self, which like we talk about the higher self and the lower self, right? And that's when we think about, that's the inside version of what heaven and hell is, right? Because you think of the higher self as the mother of virtues and harmonies of life, right? And then you have the lower self, which is hatred, slander, nudity, murder, theft, everything that harms. Hell, right? You know what I'm saying? And it says, like, in a lot of people, you look, say all those characteristics, and it's kind of what we see today in the world. Like, everything is hatred, murder, like every day. You know what I'm saying? That you can't get away from it. And so you would look at, why is that? But look at the energy that's put into the people that are causing this reality to take place. When you think about your mind, how are you controlling your thoughts? What frequency are you dwelling your thoughts in? Are you in a higher frequency? Are you in a lower frequency? Are you in a heaven frequency? Are you in a hell frequency, right? Because depending on what frequency you are is what you're going to create in your reality. So when people say that we're living in hell, that's not an incorrect statement. You know what I'm saying? Because of the way that the world is perceived today, the things that are put out into that the mass medias and our thoughts form. So that's what we project, that's what we create in the world that's in front of us. And the concept of it was like, it was turned out of us because they have us looking outside of ourselves. When you get into a faith or a spirituality or something that is really wrapped around know thyself, right? They're talking about inner self, like the inner abilities, the energies and things that you have within you, right? The power that has been that knowledge has been suppressed from us for so many years, so many generations. Like they when we first came over here in 1492, it took them 200 years to try to beat it out of us. You know what